Yeah. So now we're going to enter part 2 of Drive Safe with your host, Skippy Skip. And today is Tuesday, July 10th. Yeah, this show is aired, I guess, if you're not watching on YouTube, then you're probably listening to it on Saturday, this coming Saturday at 6 p.m., which it'll probably be about 6:30 by now, I'm guessing. And yeah, so earlier today, before I came in here to record. I went to the media center and they're like, "Hey, why don't you hand out, or do you have a car?" Like, "Yeah." "Why don't you hand out these flyers?" I'm like, "Sure, okay." And I didn't even read the flyers. And then when I came in here to do the recording, about an hour later, they said, I looked at it. It says Summer Bash. Read often, please. Like, what's that? It said, "Oh, that's just some information about the flyers you were handing out." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even read the flyer that I was handing out to businesses." So I'm just gonna talk about, or I got a little thing to read to you about Summer Bash. Are you going to the bash? August 11th, 103.5, the Sun will be celebrating our third year on the air with music, food, and fun. The Mad Polycats and Kesley Miles are playing live, and there will be food, games, face painting, and more. Join us at the 103.5 Summer Bash, 4 to 9 p.m. August 11th at Wetmore Park in Sun Prairie. Yes, this is a Sun Prairie station, if you don't know that already, which I'm not sure who wouldn't, but, unless you're, of course, if you're new in town, then you probably wouldn't realize that, or something like that. But yeah, and I don't know what I'm going to talk about today. I did ask my mom after I went to the theaters this morning, because that was the only time I could go to the theaters, was like at 9 in the morning today, for the $5 deal at Marcus Theaters. Yeah. I saw, Incredibles 2, which was amazing, and don't worry, I won't spoil anything. But after I walked out of the theater, I asked my mom, "Hey, do you mind if I talk about the times that people got me and her confused?" And she was like, "Yeah, go ahead." So I like to tell you about how young my mom looks and how confusing it gets for other people who don't know me and her. So one time I was in Indiana, and we were at a nursing home where my grandma used to be at. Don't worry, she's still alive. And my dad was in the room too. And the nurse came in to help my grandma. I don't know, I think she was trying to get into her wheelchair or something. And the nurse says, it says to my grandma, "Oh, why don't I get your grandson and your granddaughter to help you?" And that was kind of funny because she was referring to my mom when she said granddaughter. My mom does look really young for her age. I'm not going to give her age out. And we all just started laughing. We're like, "That's not her granddaughter." And then my dad says, "That's my wife." And I think I said, "That's my mom." And then she's like, "Oh, I think," and then the nurse started turning a little bit red there. And another time I was at McDonald's, I was working, and then one of my fellow coworkers comes in the back and says, "Hey, David, your girlfriend wants to see you." And then I say out loud, "Since when do I have a girlfriend?" I go to to the front counter where, in quotations, my girlfriend was at, and it was my mom. So then I go behind the counter after talking to my mom, and I was like, "That's not my girlfriend. That was my mom." And like, "Oh, I didn't realize." And then I remember last year at camp for family camp, I went there all week last year for family camp in the UPCI, Wisconsin campground in Shawano, whatever the campground is called. And I was next door to, we're staying in these dorms called the singles dorm, which can have up to 3 or 4 people in them. And we were next to this family, and the father of the family takes a look at me and my mom, and he's like, "Oh, you two brothers and sisters?" And we just both started laughing, and we said, no. And I said, "I'm the son, that's my mom. And the guy's like, oh. He just kind of takes a step back, kind of like, I did not realize that. Man, you look really young for your age. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was going through his mind. Yeah. But it happens a lot. Very often people think, oh, we're twins or something. My mom is a twin, but not to me. Kind of weird to have a twin that's also your mother, which that's not even possible. But my mom does have a twin who is older than her by, I'm not sure, I think it was a few minutes or something. Might have been about 8. I'm not quite sure on the exact amount of time. But yeah. I'm going to try to next week have a guest star here from my church. It would be my youth pastor. And I think it'd be really awesome to have this guy. He's an awesome guy. He's a lot of fun. He's young, he's about twice my age, but he's still young. I don't think he's 36. No, he can't be 36 because his wife isn't 36, and she's older than him. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of running out of things to say. Let's talk about Fortnite, and this is to the parents about Fortnite. If you're a child and you like Fortnite, you are about to hate me right now. Because what I have to say is, I don't like Fortnite. And I also think Fortnite has turned into a big problem. If you don't like Fortnite, whew, thank you. If you do like it, I'm going to pray for you. No, I'm just kidding. But Fortnite is, I like video games. Like video games with a lot of action in them, but I don't like racing games. Okay, well, very few. I like Asphalt by Gameloft, but Fortnite, it's a cartoon video game. People are like, no, it's not a cartoon video game. It's like, do you know what a cartoon is? A cartoon is a cartoon. Okay, that's a cartoon video game. I mean, look, we got Lego Star Wars, which was practically another cartoon video game. We got the Lego Movie video game. That's a cartoon video game. We got, I don't know. We got, what was it? I can't think of the name. It's called Overwatch, which I never played it before, but from what I've seen, I don't like it. It's a cartoon video game. I mean, have you seen the style of it? It's not realistic looking. If it's not realistic looking, then it's probably a cartoon video game, most likely, if it's not realistic. I mean, you can have like the best graphics in there, but it's still not realistic. But Fortnite is a problem, I think, because right now, children who maybe played, a moderate amount of video games are now playing, boom, like 24/7 or something. I heard about this kid in Europe. I'm not sure. It's like Good Morning Europe or whatever it was, Great Britain. And there's a mother and father with their child on television. And the mother said, Fortnite has kidnapped my kid or something like that, or brainwashed him. And the kid used to play 2 hours of, video games a day. I won't admit this, though. I play way too many video games. It is an addiction. It is a problem. I do play way too much. But anyways, the mother was saying like that their kid used to, play 2 hours a day and stuff, and whenever he was asked to get off of video games or computer games or whatnot, he would do it without question. Well, when Fortnite came around, he started playing with people and stuff, and whenever they asked him to get off the game, he wouldn't get off the game, and it just became a problem, I guess. I mean, I understand Battle Royale. I love Battle Royale games, except for Fortnite. I play PUBG Mobile. I never played the computer version or the console version before. I also play, or at least used to play, Knives Out, Free Fire, and I do still play, it's a popular one. PUBG actually tried to sue the company once who made NetEase. It's called Rules of Survival, or also known as ROS, ROS, or whatever. Yeah, but Fortnite is just taken over, and I'm against playing too many video games, and I'm against myself, I guess, because I do play too many video games, but Fortnite has become a real problem. People are spending money in the game that don't even help them do any better. All they're spending money on is skins. You don't get anything else. You don't get DLC or anything. You just get skins. I'd rather spend $40 in the Fortnite just to get the zombies mode than I would spending than getting all the skins for free. I'm like, it's just dumb. Okay, the skins look dumb. The different things where you destroy items with, or like it's like a pick hammer or whatever, but you can change it to like a lollipop or something. That's just dumb. I don't know. I just don't like it a lot. I know what a good video game is. That's not a good video game. Okay, it's just not. I played it before. I mean, I'll admit I'll play it on occasion, but it's not a good game. Okay, there's better battle royale games out there. I mean, I know I don't think there's any other battle royale game that you can build in, but I don't know. And it's just sweeping over the world, just taking it over practically, wasting everybody's time. Not wasting my time though. I waste my time in other games. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I'm kind of into games. I'm into sort of like mobile games, or at least I got started out in console games, but I never had a console until a couple of weeks ago. I went over to a friend's house who had like the original Xbox. He had the PlayStation 4, the GameCube, the Wii, the Xbox 360. Then he got rid of everything except for the Wii, and that's it. And then he got Xbox One. Yeah, and then I ended up buying a $20 Xbox 360 from Pawn America. I was like, yes, this is a sweet deal. And it was. My Xbox runs. It only froze up on me once so far. But the only reason why it was $20 was because it was the arcade version, which means it doesn't have a hard drive. If you ever want to save your progress, you need some sort of memory unit in there, like a flash drive. Any flash drive works. Or you can get a hard drive, or you can get a specialized flash drive, so you don't have to set up the regular flash drive. But then, years later, I started getting into, PC gaming, like the free games that you would find anywhere on the internet. And then I got into mobile gaming when I got my first phone. My first phone was, I don't even know what it was called. It had a keyboard on it. You flip it open, there's a keyboard. I had like a few games on there. I had one game called Millionaire City by Gameloft, or I also had Alien Quarantine by Gameloft. I also had a Little Big City. I believe that was also by Gameloft. Wow, they did a lot. I know Gameloft does a lot of games, but they're more of a smartphone gaming people, and they had it on a phone that wasn't touchscreen. It was all buttons. And then a few years later, like 3, I think, when I was halfway through 9th grade, I got my first smartphone, which only lasted me a week and a half. You're probably wondering, wow, you destroyed it real quick. No, I didn't. I had a Samsung Galaxy S6. It came out, I don't know. It wasn't the newest phone. They later came out with the S6 Edge and the S6 Active. But I just had the regular one, which was a 64 gigabyte one. And boy, did I need that space on there, because I was like, man. And I downloaded like apps that were over a gigabyte. And I will mention some of them a little bit later. But then, yeah, the reason why I had my first Galaxy S6 for a week and a half was because it was so glitchy. You could be using it, and then the phone would just turn off the screen, turn it back on, turn it off, and turn it back on again. And you're like, what just happened? Stuff like that. So we brought it back to the store. They're like, oh, wow. And they started using it themselves, and twice they had that thing happen where the screen turned on and off on them, or off and on. And the guy's like, yeah, I see what you mean. Here, we'll go get you a new phone. You have like 2 weeks to return the phone if there's any problems with it. So that's what we did. My dad wished he returned his S6 because his battery was like very, very, very short life. So was mine. The S6s were actually known to have a very bad battery life. So anyways, I got a second S6 for free. And that it still works, but what was it? 2 days ago. Was it 2 days? See, Monday. I think it was no Saturday. So a week ago, or well, from the day that you're listening to this, about a week ago, on a Saturday, I got another Samsung device. And my dad's like, we're going to Best Buy. My dad's like, okay, I'm gonna get me a new phone because my battery life is too short. I should just probably upgrade. And he gets himself a Galaxy S9 Plus. And man, those are expensive. I'm not even gonna tell you the price. It's that expensive. Man, these phones are just so expensive. But anyways, my dad, he's like, okay, I'm gonna get me a black Galaxy S9 Plus. And then my dad asked me, like, he wasn't planning on getting me a new phone. He says, how's your phone working? And I say, it's kind of buggy here and there. He's like, do you want a new phone? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, do I get to keep my old phone? And he didn't answer that question. He's like, here, we'll just get you a new phone anyways. We'll get you a Galaxy S9 Plus. And we both got a 64 gigabyte hard drive for our phones, which was awesome. And yeah, and so I am getting one. It took us like, I don't know, an hour just to get everything. We didn't trade in our old phones, thankfully, because I got some YouTube videos that I need my old phone for to complete. I got like a couple of games that are going on there that I cannot transfer data over to the new phone. And by the way, transferring data wirelessly from using Smart Switch takes, like, with no cord wirelessly, it takes forever. It took me an hour to get 30 gigabytes worth of information transferred over to the new phone. And my dad, he had just a few gigabytes, wasn't that many, about 17 gigabytes worth, I'm guessing or guesstimating. And it took, with a cord, it took 10 minutes or less. So there's a big difference. I mean, I know there's a big difference in the size of that, but still. Yeah, and plus, we did try to use a cord, but my my old phone's charging port is so broken that it only takes only one or two cables can charge it. It took a micro USB cable, but we've tried other cables before to charge my old phone, and man, that thing would not charge with a lot of cables. And I had to buy specific cables from specific, brands because they weren't always working. It was really annoying. One time my dad tried plugging his cable into my phone. Didn't work. We also tried plugging my cable into his phone. That didn't work either for some reason. But when we plugged our own cables that were the exact same cables, or at least the same end of the cable, they worked. It's weird. It's just weird. And how did I get onto talking about phones? I know I was talking about mobile gaming, but somehow I got into phones. Well, anyways, I have a Galaxy S9 Plus, and did I notice improvements? My new phone is a major improvement from my old phone, and my old phone, and my old phone. It runs a lot faster, runs a lot smoother. I mean, I know the memory isn't taken up that much yet. We do have a 32 gigabyte flash drive, or not flash drive. I found out that you can plug in flash drives into your new phones, but you need a special adapter for it, and it goes in through your charging port. But I got a 32 gigabyte SD card in my phone. The Galaxy S6 actually couldn't take SD cards, which was very annoying because I quickly ran out of space with all those apps that took up over a gigabyte, like Modern Combat 4, or Modern Combat 3, or Modern Combat 5, or Modern Combat Versus, or those are the only Modern Combat games I ever played. I'm trying to play Modern Combat Sandstorm. My phone keeps on crashing it for some reason. I found an APK download. It's not available on the App Store anymore, nor is Modern Combat 2. So, and they did come out with another Modern Combat game that few people know about, but it came out for the PS3 only. This was like the first game that didn't come out on mobile devices. It was actually the only game, or the first game, where it was only for console. It was only for one thing that wasn't mobile. And that was Modern Combat Domination, a multiplayer only game that was like $7 or $8. I don't know if servers are still active on it because they did close down Modern Combat 3 servers for multiplayer, and people were mad. I was actually recommending the game to people on YouTube, and they're like, the thing the servers aren't working anymore. You recommend the game to me. It's like, yeah, but I don't play the multiplayer that much. The last video that I posted came like 5 months before before you asked me about that. So they were working at the time, but they're not working now. So why don't you go ahead and just get a refund? As long as, it's like within the refund period. I think you have like 30 or 60 days to get refunds on Google Play or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, so, and I noticed that I got some games where like the graphics had to be dropped because my phone couldn't handle the new game graphics. Like Shadowgun Legends. I had to play that in medium. I think either medium or auto graphics. And then when I got my new phone and put the game on there and signed into my account, it's an online only game, by the way. It's like a mix of Destiny and there's another game. I just can't think of the name. But anyways, I was able to play the game on ultra graphics with no lag, and it runs super smooth. On my old phone, it would freeze up every now and then, like every 2 seconds it would freeze up, or if I ever got like shot by an enemy, the game would freeze for a second or something. Same thing on medium graphics too. You do the same thing. Or PUBG Mobile. I wasn't able to play with shadows or anything, or super high detailed stuff, and I cannot stand games without shadows. It really annoys me. In real life, I cannot stand the fact that there's no shadows on a cloudy day, except for the shadow that's right under you. That's a spot shadow. I like spot shadow, or I don't like spot shadows. If you ever look at the ground and your foot gets close or your body gets close to the ground or whatever, you'll notice that the shadow starts to develop. But I want a shadow that's always there. It bothers me. I don't know. It's one of my pet peeves, I guess. But now I was able to play PUBG Mobile with shadows. It was a major improvement in no lag whatsoever. But I don't think I did get lag on my old phone. I don't think. And also, another thing that my Galaxy S9 Plus improved on was the fact that I could run some older programs like Modern Combat 3. See, on the Galaxy S6, Modern Combat 3 used to be playable on there, but then after so many system updates and not updating the Modern Combat 3 game for compatibility reasons, the game just wouldn't play. It would crash every time I opened up the game. And it was just really annoying. It used to be compatible. I beat the game like many times, Mario Combat 3. But then on the new Samsung Galaxy S6 Plus, it was able to play that game. It's a newer software I'm running it on. I was like, yes! Yeah, victory. But the only downside is some of the games, since the screen of the Galaxy S9 Plus is so big, some of the games that I have on my phone don't fill up the whole screen. I have like black borders on the left and right of these games. Yeah. So it is a little bit annoying. I have to reach my thumbs a little bit more, stuff like that. But yeah. And right now the phone is practically an improved everything for a phone. Yeah. It's so good. But it also freaks me out too. Because right now, every time I get a call, it actually gives that caller a name. And then after the call, or if I miss a call and it was spam or something, the phone would tell me, potential spam called or something like that. I was like, what? Like I went to the theater today, got a phone call, I didn't answer it because I'm watching a movie. I'm watching The Incredibles 2, man. I waited 14 years for this movie. I ain't about to miss it. And then I get out of the theater, look at my phone, see who called, potential spam. I was like, this phone is freaky. And then also, the phone also randomly gave my dad its contact and name update, or actually I created a new name with a new number. And every time my dad calls me or something, it says Bobby Bob. And I'm like, that's not my dad's name though. It's not. I'm not going to tell you my dad's name, but it says Bobby Bob. And I'm like, what? Where'd he get this from? And it shows his real number, but then when I look in the contacts for Bobby Bob, it shows a different number. And it's really confusing. I look at the contacts, the numbers aren't even, like the fake number isn't in the same contact with the real number, and vice versa. I don't know. It was weird. And also the screen. I'm looking at my phone right now on the desk. the screen is always on unless it's in your pocket, and it's like an inactive screen. Um, it it's just a black screen with some white stuff on there, like words or whatnot, and it tells you what kind of notifications, but it doesn't tell you the notifications that came in. Yeah, it's weird. And then also there is no button, the only buttons on there are the Bixley button, which is new, the power button, and the volume buttons. You know that little center button that's at the bottom of the phone? That ain't there anymore. But they do have a simulation for it. And they have like a little square at the bottom of the screen, and if you tap it hard enough, then it'll vibrate a little bit in that area and act like that is the home button or the center button or whatever it's called. And the back button and the other button, the app view thing, whatever it is, where you can see all your apps that are open, that's no longer a thing. That's not a part of the screen. It's a part of the screen now, which is crazy. But I don't know if I like it or not. I have been making more typing errors on it, so that's a bit annoying. But that is all the time we have for today. And don't forget to check out the YouTube channel where this will be on at. If you want to listen to this again, or if you missed the show, it is Skippi's Skip Production LLC. And the first word is called Skippi. And the colors of the YouTube channel logo are green and red with a black background. So to close the show, we're going to do this. You're listening to 103.5 The Sun Prairie's community radio station. Stay tuned for more local talk, sports, music, and community events. Bye, y'all.